Roman Reigns is back. He's been gone for like 3 whole weeks or something. It's been ages.
It's been more than 3. What was it? Clash in Paris?
Yeah, that was the end of August. So
he's missed
4 weeks.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, hello and welcome to the WrestleTalk podcast. I'm Ollie Davis. I'm joined by Lugo and DAD. We are reviewing Raw because we are here every Tuesday and every Friday. So subscribe wherever you get your podcasts from. It could be right here on YouTube. It could be on Apple Podcasts, where you should leave us a review. It could be on Spotify, where you should leave a comment. Or it could be, very exciting, this is from Southampton Sci-Fi 4012. What could their PIN code be? This is what they commented, where they have found the podcast. What's happening? Can you see that?
Yeah, you got you got like a Superman spit curl.
Yes. It's finally happened. Just need to headbang a bit more. I was watching your podcast and got peckish, so I made myself a Bombay Bad Boy pot noodle. On the way back to my sofa, I spilled the pot, and the individual strands of ramen spelled out a perfect transcript of the podcast. Yeah.
Wow.
It's not really a new distribution method. It is an accompaniment to the podcast, where if you're like, did they just say that? Did they say crack that neck or crack my dick? Right? You can go into your ramen, pour it over the floor, and see what we did say.
I mean, look, I'm really pleased to be partnering with the good folk over at Pot Noodle. It was a particular favourite of mine in the 1990s. I don't think I've had one since 2003, but still, great to have them on board finally with the WrestleTalk podcast. Though I will say, I will give you a lot of credit there for trying to claim that Pot Noodle is a ramen.
Well, they said that individual strands of why is it not a ramen? It's got little noodly things, and you pour hot water on it.
I guess it's just I would never have looked at a pot noodle and was like, Japanese culture of.
Yeah, we did it better. It's what we do as Britain. We take other cultures' foods and make it better.
The people of Pot Noodle went to Japan and were like, whoa, they've got this incredible deal out there. This incredible meal out there. It's called a ramen. I think we could do a version of that in a pot.
Yeah, with and it sounds so satisfying to shake.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I used to love one. And actually, Bombay Bad Boy was my pot noodle of choice.
What's your pot noodle of choice? Leave a comment down below. We won't read them because we're talking about Roman Reigns' return. This happened in the main event, although it wasn't set up earlier, but there was a previous backstage segment where Jay and Jimmy, they're preparing for the bronze match, the tornado tag, a WrestlePalooza rematch. And Jimmy, off the back of the previous week where Jay said he wouldn't help out LA Knight, so Jimmy helped out LA Knight, and Jimmy was annoyed at Jay for not helping out LA Knight, even though I did watch Jay run down and make the save.
Not in last week's show, you didn't.
Didn't I? He came out at the end, didn't he?
No, last week was main evented by Asuka.
That was the one show without that angle.
That's right.
Was it the main event?
No, so
that was LA Knight.
Last week was Jay beat LA Knight, and then he left, and then the Vision started beating down LA Knight, and Jimmy was like, "We should go and help him," and Jay was like, "Not my monkey, not my circus," and he walked away.
And he didn't run back and say, "Oh my god." I really do feel like with this Vision, Braun, Usos, LA Knight smorgasbord, I can't separate the weeks anymore.
No.
It's been one 4-month-long episode.
Yes. Well, that's exactly how they want it.
But hopefully now we are going into the next gear, which is more
going back to the past.
Yeah, let's go back to the bloodline, because the Usos are getting dominated by Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed. They take out Jimmy through the announce table on the outside. They start working over an isolated Jay, which means they can beat up Jimmy when he eventually makes the save. They're going to win, just like they did at WrestlePalooza. But Roman Reigns' entrance music hits.
Genuinely surprised. I was like, we're not going to see Roman until the Rumble. I was like, he's Dunzo for this year.
Would you have had Roman face John Cena in the final year of Cena?
Yes, I would have done. Absolutely. This version of John Cena, like New Day or current day version of John Cena versus OTC Tribal Chief Roman Reigns, absolutely I would have done that as a feud.
Should we add that to the list of
missed opportunities?
Things I would have preferred over Logan Paul.
I say missed opportunities. Dropped balls.
Yeah.
Let's just call them. But absolutely, yeah, I would have 100% have done that match. But yeah, I was super surprised when Roman came. I really enjoyed Jay's promo that he did backstage with Jimmy, where Jimmy was like, Bud, why didn't you do the thing with LA Knight? And Jay was like, I've been so preoccupied with LA Knight. If it wasn't for him, we'd have won a WrestlePalooza. If it wasn't for him, I'd have probably beaten the bronze already. If it wasn't for him, I'd probably be world champion by now. You know, I've been too busy messing around in the mid-card, more or less.
With this guy, LA Knight, who cannot buy a singles victory since he moved to Raw.
So
but he beat Kofi Kingston.
Well, he went into a match with Kofi Kingston. Again, because terminally online Triple H has seen the criticism that LA Knight has not won a singles match since Seth was like, fine, I'll book him in a singles match where he wins. And crucially, with terminally online Triple H seeing online feedback, what he's also seen is WWE hasn't been as good since the Bloodline drama ended. So he's brought it right back. And this really did. And, it sounds like I'm being glib, like I'm being cynical. I was thrilled by the end of this episode. I loved the closing visual of this episode because Roman comes down, helps Jay, well, specifically helps Jay win. The Usos win, but really it's Jay that he's kind of helping here. And he is shaking hands with Jay and he's grabbing him by the shoulders being like, you did it. You've listened to me. You've done the right thing. And it's done in that Bloodline way, where it's all about the camera placement and where characters are, the staging, because there's Jimmy in the middle being like, so you're back, are you?
And just like seeing them both and that you could really feel, it wasn't an overblown performance. I'm not talking Io Sky or Lyra Valkyria here. It was Jimmy just in the middle. He's won a match. Sure, that's good. Like he's not upset, but he is definitely anxious about seeing Roman and Jay like this together. Because I think Jimmy's big fear has always been, my twin brother will become the horrible tribal chief.
Yeah. And also, I saw what the tribal chief did to my brother Jey Uso when we were all part of that same faction. Lest we forget, Jimmy was the first one to leave that group before he then, turned heel and went back into the group for no discernible reason.
Well, wasn't the reason he went back into the group to stop Jay winning the tribal chief? Because that match was Roman versus Jay for the Ula Fala.
Yeah.
So Jimmy stopped Jay from winning that because he didn't want Jay to turn into the awful Roman Reigns.
And the way to do that is to rejoin the bloodline.
That would be my first impulse.
I thought you were going to say, I thought his reasoning for rejoining the bloodline was no yeet.
Yes, there's that as well. Yeah. Although, bloody hell, that kid with his top off,
he was
all yeet.
He was NIL.
He'll be like the Undertaker. This kid, man, he's got a bright future.
It's on his podcast, be like, I saw this kid. It was on Monday Night Raw.
Damn, that boy can yeet.
I was like, I think we should sign him right now.
Way more. This is the fourth Uso. This kid. But yeah, it's a great bit of visual storytelling. And it's just like one of those perfect images that you can use in the recap video packages later on, where you say, Jimmy, you're the third wheel. You're a twin brother. And you are somehow the third wheel in this storyline.
So do you think this is tying into what you were theorizing a couple of weeks back when you ran with that headline when I was not here, that Jey Uso has turned heel? Are you tying it into all of this?
Well, I was thinking about this. I think wrestling fandom is going through another change. I don't think I've said this. It's only something I've been playing around with in my head.
Interesting.
But I was on the money with American Hollywood comedies. There's more of them.
What?
They're coming back.
Oh, right. Sorry. I see what you're saying. I thought you were talking about you were on a podcast that was called Money with American Comedies.
No. Although, should we start another one?
Yes. You did say that you thought the American comedy movie was going to make a comeback.
Well, it was more in line with culture in general, and I think culture is swinging back from a more sort of sensitive side of how comedy is approached to a more offensive side. Way more 90s than, say, 2010s, for instance. And what do you have in the 90s? You've got the Attitude Era. And I feel like the last couple of years of WWE in particular is baby faces are baby faces. They're white meat guys and they're blue-eyed and you cheer them and they don't cheat. And the moment they start to cheat, that's actually the sign of a heel turn, and the crowd boo the cheating and they boo them more when they're eventually fully a heel. What I feel might be happening, and I think you see it a lot in the Dominic Mysterio match, is people are now more on board to just cheer bad guys who are actually the good guys. They're just ass kickers. And that is way more in line with the Attitude Era. And The Rock is kind of a heel. Stone Cold Steve Austin stunners people all the time, but we all cheer them. So I actually think even though Jimmy should end up the babyface in all of this, I think he'll end up the whiny heel. It's like, who is totally justified because it's too much fun to cheer cool Roman Reigns and now badass Jey Uso because they're being selfish.
So 2 points. First, I'm going to push back on your idea that you are under the money with American comedies, and the reason they are making a comeback is because we are sort of moving away from the, I hate to use the term because it became a phrase used by morons because they couldn't win arguments, but woke is dead.
Woke's dead.
South Park has told me so. Yeah. But so the idea that woke is dead, I think there's a part of that. I think the reason why we're seeing...
I think woke is passé. I think it's not cool anymore.
Absolutely. That's exactly it. It is not cool anymore. So
being mean to people is cool.
Companies aren't leaning into it as much as they were because they're not trying to appeal to being cool and what is currently trending and what is trendy at the moment. I think the reason we're seeing more comedies in the cinema at the moment is because companies have realized, or studios have realized, if you put something on a streaming service, no one watches it. But if you put something into a cinema, people will go and watch it and then watch it when it's on a streaming service. I think that's the reason why we get Anaconda 2 years ago would have been straight to Paramount Plus or whatever platforms on, straight to Amazon Prime, whatever it is. So point number one. Point number two, I don't think what you're explaining there is a new phenomenon. I think this has been happening for the last few years within WWE. Case in point, Rhea Ripley. I would say that she was the most cheered person in WWE when she was a heel within the Judgment Day. And I think we are leaning into it where people aren't cheering baby faces and booing heels. I think they are cheering characters they like and booing characters that they don't like.
Yeah, I you know what? That you are right there.
Thank you.
And that's what the Attitude Era, like, people were just behind characters.
Behind characters,
and then but they could turn heel, obviously like Hollywood Rock is heel. Yeah. I can see that. If Corporate Rock is heel.
Austin turned heel at WrestleMania X7.
But I just feel like these days it is that, but done way better. Yeah, with a lot more nuance, and it's not always a perfect mirror. This is definitely an evolution. But yeah,
well, Austin's a good example of that because Austin turned heel at WrestleMania X7, but Austin didn't really he did get booed, but it took a little while for people to figure out that they wanted to boo him because they didn't want to boo Austin. They wanted to cheer Austin because he's Stone Cold, and they like the character of Stone Cold Steve Austin. So he's there. So they had to go to extreme lengths, been beating up women on TV to try and get people to boo him, teaming in with Triple H, who no one likes. That'll get him booed. So I think we are just now into characters. Roman Reigns has not had to do a babyface turn, and he is not really a babyface. We just cheer him now because we like the character of Roman Reigns.
But Roman isn't cheating to win.
No. He's actually now doing the babyface in peril role within matches and stuff.
My prediction, although I'm not wedded to it, is that they will start to cheat to win, just use steel chairs in matches, the babyface. And it's fine.
Yeah. And Dom, he's the avatar of Eddie Guerrero, who was, lie, cheating, and steal. What I would say is probably, outside of being Latino Heat, the most over thing that he really did when he was in WWE and, led him to becoming champion. So I think that he is a great example of, he is definitely a heel. He often plays heel within matches. He is a chicken S-word heel. But people cheer him like he's a babyface because they like the character of Dominic Mysterio. And I think that is because he has a mustache and a mullet, which really have just made a big comeback.
Yeah.
No one really talks about this a lot, but mustaches and mullets have just made a comeback. And I'm all for it because I thought it shouldn't have gone away in the first place.
It's a smart look.
It is a smart look, isn't it? It's a good look on dudes.
Especially on Zoom calls because you can be business at the front. if you just keep the same fixed head position and then,
party
yeah, Janet saw it. There's a flick. But yeah, where do you think this storyline's going? Because Jimmy is definitely the odd one out in this new bit of Bloodline.
But is it Bloodline? I suppose is actually the next question is, are we getting the Bloodline faction reunion, or is this just the next stage of, this is really actually going to lead us to another Jay versus Jimmy split and story where Jimmy is trying to save Jay from the worst version of himself, which is Roman Reigns 2.0.
I think the thing that's best for Jay, and I think what everyone wants for Jay, is for Jay to become Roman 2.0. Not in a derivative way, but to become his own cool, badass thing. If I was to just predict booking points, I think Roman and Jay team together against the Bronze. That's the first one. And they win because Roman needs that revenge win over Reed. Not revenge win because he beat him at the pay-per-view as well. And then, I mean, do you then think we're on the way to a Bloodline War Games? A team Bloodline?
I think we might have...
Jacob's a face now? He's never teamed with this gang?
I think we did say... Well, I think we were trying to work out who the team good guy lineup for War Games was going to be. And I think we had Cody, Punk, Cena... Jay,
the Avengers,
and Jimmy. I think was the lineup that we had. Maybe it's with Roman. It's a proper super duper ooper team of it's Cody, Roman, Punk, Cena, and Jey Uso versus the Vision and Drew McIntyre and other villain.
That is one of the most star-studded matches I've ever heard.
And again, it's probably what I would do if I had War Games coming up. I would try to put together the super duper ooper team.
Well, should we see what everyone thinks in the chat gables?
If I can I ask you a question before we get into the chat gables? Are you excited for Bloodline drama?
If you asked me before watching this, Bloodline drama, it just makes me think, oh, we're going back to the Bloodline. I think this is a new thing. This is a new book in the series. It's been long enough. I feel like they've built this tension really quite well by having Roman come back, give that advice to Jay. That sent Jay off in this new, meaner character direction. And then having watched the actual angle play out at the end, I'm like, hot damn, that's a high-quality Bloodline angle. I can't not want that.
I completely agree, actually, because I think if you'd have said, Sumi, do you want Bloodline? I'm like, oh man, I don't think we need to just go back in time. Just like, oh man, we're not a hot product right now. Let's just recapture it. Because that's bring Vince back to TV, break glass in case of emergency, put Vince on TV because we've got a bad rating this 1 week. However, the most interesting stuff Jey Uso has done for a while now has been in the last few weeks when he's trying to be more like Roman. And that has been a really fun and interesting character development for him, particularly with Jimmy on screen as well. So adding Roman back into that mix and the angle we got here, I'm like, yeah, no, I'm actually in for it.
Let's see what you all think on the chat gables. WrestleTalk.com/support. We'll read out every single one. Over $5 before the end of the show. Kazoo writes, I don't mind Bloodline drama, but it's very been there, done that. Rhea Io versus Kabuki Warriors is my favourite story. A meaningful non-title feud for Rhea, Io being elevated as a top face, Asuka being a top heel. Sign me TF up. Cody Seth also has me hooked.
Yeah, I mean, I've been really into this Jey Uso stuff. Like, it is the most I have been interested in Jey Uso for a while. Probably actually since the Bloodline drama, really, because I was not into World Heavyweight Champion Jey Uso. However, to echo what Kuzu has said, it's probably like the thing I'm third most interested in because I'm way more into this Kabuki Warriors heel turn. And the Seth stuff. The Seth and Cody stuff is great.
Yeah, they've got 3 pretty decent storylines there, all driven from character, which is what usually gets missed in this point of the calendar for WWE.
100%, yeah.
It's, not character driven, it's you need to face this person because we've got this pay-per-view stipulation coming up.
It's gimmick driven.
Yeah. Bagel writes, hello, all 2 things. First off, do you think The Vision will be adding a new member?
No, they barely feel like a faction at this point.
And second, I just got a girlfriend
Brag.
who has never seen wrestling. Where's that been moved to? Before, but is interested. Any recommendations for what match I should show her?
We did a big old thing on this a number of years back, didn't we? Of like recommendations.
Yeah, but it's changed. It's WrestleMania 40 main event now.
Yeah, I would say
that's the answer.
Yeah,
because you can watch that match and the commentary can tell you things. It's not just like the perfect embodiment of Avengers Endgame sports entertainment in the modern age. They'll also catch you up on all the storylines and dynamics.
Yeah. So we have got a Patreon backer, Rustage, also a very good nerdcore rapper, who told us that is how he got into wrestling. He accidentally saw midway through the main event of WrestleMania 40, and it hooked him on wrestling. It was the first bit of wrestling he'd ever seen, and now he's a big wrestling fan. That is the power and the magic of that match.
So that's one extreme. The other extreme, weirdly, just because I just popped into my head and so many non-wrestling fans spoke to me about it at the time. Orange Cassidy versus Pac.
Yeah.
It is one of the finest mainstream comedy matches you'll ever see.
Yeah, it's a good shout.
So if she wants to see a funny side of wrestling, it's not just all this one thing of sports entertainment. Give her that. And if she likes it, go down the AEW rabbit hole. Some guy writes, I wonder if this will lead to face Roman versus heel Jay, a kind of slay the monster I created story. Could be an interesting direction and gives both guys something to do without getting in an already cluttered title picture.
Interesting, because that was going to be another follow-up question I had is, do you think this is going to lead into any WrestleMania plans? And maybe that is the direction. It's Roman versus Jay in a singles match with Jimmy as the special guest referee.
That's pretty cool, actually. I wouldn't mind that at all. There's definitely enough context there.
Or a three-way. We do Roman versus Jimmy versus Jay. Versus Solo versus Jacob.
A bloodline in every corner.
Yes!
Rikishi's in one.
Yeah,
Heyman's in another.
Haku's in another.
Yeah. Wouldn't like to be anywhere near Haku. I think that could be good, yeah. That's a really good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, keep on getting in your chats. We'll read out every single one to WrestleTalk.com/support. Before we get in with the play-by-play review, though, here's a trailer for what just began over at Patreon.com/WrestleTalk.
Once a year, a show nobody asked for. Get ready for an impact. This is TNA season.
From a specific time period, ages ago, not the current product, which is actually now just WWE, and it's actually pretty good.
As Luke and Ollie review the full Aces and 8 storyline.
Let's play!
There's the boom. Deer in the headlights.
Jumping up and down, up and down.
Jumping up and down, up and down. It's Jumpy Jones over
Referee
here.
Jones over here.
WrestleTalk Extra. Cross the line. Watch episode 1 now. And cross the line on patreon.com/WrestleTalk to watch episode 2 onwards.
You can watch episode 1 of that right now on WrestleTalk's YouTube channel. Is it on the podcast feeds as well?
It is.
Well, there you go. It's the last podcast to this episode, and yet you can watch the full series. We'll be releasing them every month on Patreon.com/WrestleTalk.
Yeah, we've got Final Resolution live over at Patreon.com/WrestleTalk, and then in October it will be the review of Lockdown 2013, and we're also going to do a big deep dive into the wedding angle.
One of the most infamous late TNA. You can't say late TNA anymore. It's still going.
Yeah.
I consider 2010 or like 2011 to 2015 late TNA.
I just said the same thing.
I guess it goes to Impact. We're kind of right.
Yeah, I suppose,
This is now Impact version 2. Sorry, TNA version 2.
Yeah, that's true. Four-sided ring, very different era of TNA. But yeah, we do the wedding angle where Taz has got 2 questions that he wants to ask, which actually I've then watched a few more episodes of Impact, has become his catchphrase of like, I've got a question to ask you.
Just one more thing, going all Columbo.
Yeah.
But also on patreon.com/WrestleTalk this weekend, we've got a new episode of Tables, Listen, Shares going up.
It's a fun one as well.
Yeah.
It features, I would say, an all-timer moment in TLC history when you just get the editor.
Yeah.
You get him.
Thank you very much. Catchphrases. Yeah. That's on the Patreon one though, right?
It is, yeah. So you need to head on to patreon.com/WrestleTalk for best wrestling catchphrases, while on YouTube it will be the worst wrestling catchphrases.
Where the racist one doesn't even win. Spoiler. But yeah, go to patreon.com/WrestleTalk for that. This episode of Raw began with Rhea Ripley coming out right off the back of the previous end of Raw when Asuka turned even more heel.
She's not living the gimmick though. She had a shower.
I know. She should be blue.
She didn't blue herself.
The color blue. But she came out, said, you know, she was annoyed at the Kabuki Warriors. Then Io Sky walked down, said, Rhea, you're right. But they're still my family and I love them.
Yeah.
And Io goes to leave, really. But then we get a really good pre-filmed video interview with Asuka and Kairi Sane, which meant that Asuka could talk in Japanese and we could just have it subtitled.
And it really does hammer home now this Asuka character of being the mentor. We talked about this in the last couple of weeks where Kairi was like, she's the reason that we are here. We do need to follow what Asuka is saying. But Asuka's whole deal, she literally says in this, you should be more like Kairi. Why can't you be more like Kairi?
Yeah.
The good students.
Because up until this point, they just keep on occasionally dropping in, Asuka did bring us into the company. Asuka's a really good teacher. I'm like, what? I feel like Io started wrestling at the same time as Asuka.
Yeah.
In Japan.
Yeah, but in WWE.
In WWE lore.
Yeah.
So yeah, this was really a new kind, a re-gimmick essentially of Asuka. And it's using that Japanese trope of the toxic mentor.
Yeah.
You see it in martial arts films and other things.
I mean, what I really liked is it's not just like be more like Kairi. It's like, I just want you to apologize. It's all I'm asking you to do is to apologize to me for your actions.
And Asuka could be saying this, and it's cool, it's Asuka. What really gets the act over is Kairi also begging Io, please, because then you can just become the student again, like me.
Yeah.
Like Kairi is so deluded and brainwashed. Really, really good dynamic. Io then walks off, but the Kabuki Warriors attack Rhea. Io comes back in for the save. They do the mist on her. She's blue. She is blue for the rest of the episode.
Yeah, so blue.
Was it always blue mist? I thought it was like a dark green.
It was dark. It was green mist previously. But the thing with the mist is that it would just be like on your face. But I mean, the way that Sky sold this, and it might just be because I watched it at the weekend, was like Newman getting spat in the face by the Dilophosaurus, like in Jurassic Park. But it just, like, whatever this mist is, whatever, like, what's
the power?
Viscosity?
Yes.
What's that word?
Yeah, but like a viscous liquid.
Yeah, whatever the denseness of it is, the looseness of it is, I suppose what it is, it goes everywhere. Like if you just get this and like move down your face and down your chest, it covers you head to toe. And doesn't come off either because Sky was a blue dabba-dee dabba-die all night long.
Also sad. Do you want to just recap the backstage segments that came later while I look at what the different mist colours do?
We did, we had a video on this, didn't we?
Laurie did a really good explained on it, yeah.
Yeah. So later on, when Sky is there, all blue and sad, Kairi Sane walks up to her and, as you mentioned, Andy said, "We can still be a family." And Sky just yells at her, "Leave me alone." And Kairi Sane, just very sadly and casually, drops a photo of the three of them happy together, happier times. Clearly it didn't do a lot for Sky though, because she was still blue later in the night. Rhea walks up and she's like, "I've spoken to Adam Pearce, we've got a match at Crown Jewel."
Yeah.
I think this is my only thing that I was lacking from this. I wanted this as an in-ring segment next week maybe, of just like me, you, tag match at Perth Crown Jewel, as opposed to Kairi Sane just very casually saying, "Yeah, no, we've got I've got it booked. I don't know if you were planning on going to Perth actually for the show, but don't worry. If you were, you're probably going to go see family. I've got us a match.
I had quite an official meeting with our boss, totally
blue.
And also, I mean, it's good. It's a good visual. She should be blue, but if it's that painful, because at the end of that interaction with Rhea, Io says all that, and then she goes, and Rhea goes, "I'll go get you a cloth." Why hasn't anyone else got her a cloth? Why is she not? You bring a cloth. It's a Cadbury Enthusiasm joke. But I've got it here. Blue kryptonite can reverse the unpredictable effects of red kryptonite.
So this should be a good one then.
So if you use it on Bizarro, it weakens Bizarro.
Oh, I see.
But I do actually have what the mists do.
Can I pitch you this, actually? This is just coming from the chat here, that they think this could lean towards Io turning heel.
I saw that. I saw a few people predict this. I don't think that works for me.
It'll be a shocking moment.
It'll be a shocking, yeah.
Which, is WWE's MO right now. Maybe there'll be another episode of Unreal. That's how you get them. We got them.
That's what we do.
It's what we do. That's the magic right there. It would be a moment at Crown Jewel if Io Sky turned heel on Rhea Ripley and Rhea
in her home
country, and she aligned with the Kabuki Warriors and Damage Control effectively reunite, because they were part of that same faction, minus Bayley and Dakota Kai. So it would be a moment. It's not a moment I care to see, but it would be a shocking moment.
I think you hit the nail on the head. We have had 2 months of quite static TV building to Asuka and Kairi breaking off from Io.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to go back to they're all mates again as a heel.
Yeah.
I've seen it. I've had it. I think Io, you could do it, but it doesn't particularly interest me right now. Blue Mist weirdly sends the opponent to sleep.
Well, not these people.
No.
What is it with WWE not respecting wrestling law as written on the internet?
Red Mist is the one that burns the eyes.
Oh, yeah, that's a really dangerous one, yeah.
That's Gangrel. Black would blind the opponent.
Just like a Dilophosaur.
Yellow paralyzes the opponent. And purple causes momentarily distractions and memory loss.
Well, what about the Green Mist?
Green Mist is just obstructs the opponent's vision. So,
yeah.
Oh, what am I doing?
So, actually, when you think about it, Tajiri was quite nice with his mist. He could paralyze you. Like, if he really wanted to, he could try and paralyze you or make you really disoriented, put you to sleep. Instead, he's just like Green Mist. I'll just momentarily blind you for a bit, or just make things a bit harder to see.
The first match of the show was Rusev versus Dominic Mysterio. I thought this might be Dominic's best IC title defense.
Yeah, it was really good, yeah.
I know...
I can't think of any other ones that he's had, which is why I was struggling to
There's
think
that one.
You know the one.
He had, what was it?
Yeah, the thing,
Dragon Lee, I'm sure. So Dominic, this match was set up last week, but's been building for a few weeks against Rusev. Finn Balor and JD McDonough walk down the ramp with him, but then they're like, you go and do the thing. They walk to the back. And I thought, oh, well, for sure we're going to get someone else, an El Grande Americano doing the interference finish. But they didn't.
We've been doing that storyline now for weeks on TV.
Yeah, and they've just dropped it.
They were on this show.
Instead, we got genuinely a Dom babyface underdog storyline against heel Rusev. Rusev, I wouldn't say was actually getting any of the crowd reactions. That's not been the way since he's come back. But he was an effective giant heel, which means everyone just psychologically cheered Dom.
But I think they were going to cheer Dom anyway, because people have been cheering Dom, I would say not even recently. All of 2025, this crowd have been cheering for Dominic Mysterio in matches.
For me, this was a different kind of connection. I
disagree.
Because the matches up until this point, like against AJ, for instance, that was worked as a match where Dominic is getting the heat. Mm-hmm. This match was laid out. Dominic is the babyface luchador. So people got into that story. They weren't just cheering Dominic Mysterio.
The character.
They were cheering the person in this match doing this role. Yeah, it was giant versus underdog.
Yeah, I mean, it was really, really great. So I actually do have someone's listing out what Dom's title defenses have been. You said AJ.
Tessitore said it was like his 6th title defense.
Well, this person here has listed 5, with 6 including Rusev then. So AJ, you said him. That's been twice. There were 2 AJ defenses.
So 3 others.
No, Rusev's one of them. So there are then 2. Oh yeah, that is only 5. I've got 2 other names.
Dragon Lee.
Nope.
Could have sworn Dragon.
Certainly not in this list anyway.
Give me a clue.
One of them has been taken WWE by storm.
Penta.
So Penta is one of them. The other one was at Money in the Bank.
Like that's gonna. Oh, so was that the day after the Worlds Collide show? It's not. It's not Vikingo and it's not Mr. Iguana.
I think it was the same day as Worlds Collide.
Yes, you're right. Yeah, it was whoever won a match. Oh, what I know, and everyone was like, "Wow, what a great showing!" I was like, "It was 3 minutes long."
Yeah, I was going to say, like they had a really good showing at Worlds Collide and a very good angle, and then the match they had at Money in the Bank went about 7 minutes.
You got to tell me.
Octagon Junior.
Octagon Junior would never have got that, but I remember it.
Yeah, another shape.
But ultimately, Dom did. Like there was this great near fall off the match kick. Dom rolls to the outside, grabs the 2 titles, does the Eddie Guerrero spot where he chucks the title to Rusev, pretends he's been hit by it, in full view of the referee.
I was going to say, the referee very much saw him try this.
But it was all part of the plan, because Dom then gets rushed into the corner where the referee is, low blow with the leg behind the referee's vision, and...
the tights as well.
Hook the tights.
Did everything he could.
And he won. And
great.
The crowd popped genuinely, even though he cheated.
Yeah, I thought this was awesome.
Really, really good stuff. And I know I'm not down on Dominic Mysterio. I just don't think he should retire John Cena. This is Kong Skull Island all over again. A movie I really like, but I don't think it's the best film ever made.
I don't know. I think
I really like Dom at this level. LA Knight is then backstage asking Pierce for a world title shot. He has lost every match since he has been on Raw.
Yeah, and it was really fun because then New Day walked in and was like, "We want a tag title shot." And Pierce was like, "Well, you haven't won any matches either. So
great.
You can't really be demanding any title matches." Although, I mean, in fairness to the New Day, it's not like anyone else is getting a title shot. So you may as well have a go, see if you can get a title shot.
But that set up Kofi versus Knight for later on.
That was a very, sorry to jump, very smart bit of business, because Knight does need to get a win so that the internet can stop saying that Knight has not won a match since Seth.
And Kofi is a former world champion. We got a really good video package, documentary style thing, sit down talking heads with Cody and Seth, just telling the story of Cody's journey. When he comes back to WWE, Seth's the first guy he goes against.
Yeah, this was really, really good stuff.
Very similar to what they did with the Cena-Lesnar feud. It's really like this style of video package.
And we're clearly going to get one either on SmackDown or next week on Raw, because, like, you know, Seth says, like, and that was just the beginning, or words to that effect.
And it was part 1. They did say that at the start.
Oh, I missed that bit.
Bayley is talking to Lyra Valkyria backstage.
Bless her, she's not an actor.
Yeah, it's great. now I've made peace with her being just an emoji, going between different emoji faces.
Yeah,
I'm really enjoying how ridiculous it is.
It is.
EO's kind of just as bad.
No, I know. EO's a different kind of bad acting, though. Whereas, like, this is just bad acting.
EO's doing stylistically operatic.
Exactly.
Whereas Lyra is
a bad
sixth form drama.
Oh, if you did this at sixth form drama, your teacher would have a word with you about how you need to buck up, otherwise you are not going to pass this course.
The rule of Raw is that if you wrestle Raquel Rodriguez, you must wrestle Roxanne Perez afterwards, or vice versa.
Yeah. So
Bayley beat Roxanne last week. Now she must lose to Raquel.
And do you see what match they announced for next week?
Lyra versus Roxanne.
This feud right here.
I When they did that, I just went, oh, come on. Bayley was kind of a baby face, but not a hugger. Not in a hugger character. Weirdly, she was more Ric Flair and the Hardy Boys.
Yeah, because they were in North Kakalaki, as I believe some people would call it.
Raleigh.
Raleigh.
North Carolina. And
North
Roxanne.
Carolina.
It's hard to rhyme.
It's hard to rhyme.
Roxanne raked Bayley's eyes so Raquel could get the win. Lyra makes the save. Judgment Day beat her up. Bayley hulks up and makes the save. And this time Bayley is happy to be with Lyra, but does not hug her. So I don't know. So I guess she wasn't the hugger here?
I gave this quite a lot of rope when they were doing all the vignettes. Even though it did get a bit Warrior in the Mirror, I gave this a lot of rope. It is starting to hang itself, and I am quickly losing interest.
And it's Bayley's creative choices that's doing it in, I think. Not Lyra's acting.
That's not helping.
Go. Lyra's acting is better than Bayley right now.
Maybe Lyra is the best thing in this feud.
I think she is.
Because at least I've got something to say about it.
Yeah.
I've got nothing to say about Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez. Yes. But I've got loads to say about Lyra's acting.
So I believe Raquel is in a relationship with Braun Strowman. Have you seen the news?
He might be Jason in the reboots. Look, we've been talking about a Friday the 13th reboot since 2013. Like, I will believe it when I see it. Granted, a lot of that's because that franchise is a mess of lawsuits and who owns the rights to characters. It's fascinating, but it is a mess. I will believe it when I see it.
Horror movies, big money in there at the moment. Do you think it'd make a good Jason?
I mean, he's tall. All you need to be is tall. That's all you've got to do is just be tall. Like, you're never going to be as good as Kane Hodder at it because you need also...
He's the tallest?
Yeah, do you know what? I'm going to take that back because I think that's actually quite reductive to say you just need to be tall. Because Ken Kersinger was tall, but he wasn't a great Jason. But like Kane Hodder was tall, but he was acting while he was doing it. And I think you do need to be able to convey character through the mask and not just be tall. So, well, we will see. I hopefully they would be really good. Apparently, though, they might have broken up. That's what Modmother is saying. Okay. The other thing I was going to note...
There was no other way for me to segue Friday the 13th conversation in there.
I thought you were just going to try and talk about elevated horror. Which
I will.
Yeah, which once again, I have been proven right because as an update from Owen Lakes Comics, I was slightly incorrect. I will hold my hand and say I was wrong. It wasn't just critics that made up that phrase because they didn't want to say they liked a comic book. It was Warner Brothers marketing department that also said, hey, this isn't your average comic book. This is a graphic novel. And so it really was just a marketing gimmick as a term. It's not a real thing, but is now, like I said on the episode, but you refuse to be a part of. It now has just become part of the lexicon that people now just use. Kind of like woke, I suppose.
Yeah. Well, how humble of you. The Usos are backstage. We've talked about that. EO's Totally Blue. We've talked about that. LA Knight and Kofi Kingston have a match. Good stuff. I've really enjoyed Knight recently in the ring, but he did knee Kofi in the head, I think. So I don't know if Kofi's actually injured coming off the back of this. But then, he won off the back of that. Where's Grayson Waller?
Apparently he got hurt. Well,
he's hurt as well.
Well, either that or he's just selling the Mexican Destroyer from last week.
Tozawa and Maxine are walking backstage. They bump into Becky. A little bit of a back and forth, and Maxine brings up AJ Lee's name.
And Tozawa goes, woohoo.
Becky pushes him to the ground.
She punched him right in the face.
Walks off and then attacks Maxine as well.
Yeah.
And then she walks over. Seth is just standing right there.
He's just standing there looking at the watch.
Which, usually that's really weird, hokey staging. Seth is doing everything right for me right now, so I can look past that. I believe that this broken Seth would just be standing by himself in a big room looking at his watch.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Because then it went into Seth going out for a promo. He's not doing the big hand movements. He's not conducting the audience. He's dressed in black. He just delivers a normal promo.
I don't want to say that last week's segment was bad, because I'm not, even though I think a few comments thought that I was, even though I did say it was good. That's why I think that there would have been a more effective version of this would have been he comes out as cocky Seth, then gets slightly humbled within the promo, then you get this bit here, as opposed to last week when he just had a 180 character reset.
Yeah.
Because this was so great. Because he isn't being a prick. He's not being a knobhead. He's not being annoying Seth Rollins. He's coming out here and is now doing his darndest to convince himself that he is right and that everything that Cody is saying to him is wrong.
And he's been telling everyone, I'm the future. This is
mad for someone who's been on top for 10 years.
I'm the leader of the Vision. I control everything. But here's Cody, the guy he's got the match against, who says, but I've beaten you 3 times. So Seth needs to win this. And that pressure is slowly turning him mad. And Cody is just turning up the heat as well. Because Cody comes out, his pyro doesn't. He was waiting there for a while. We got to... No, okay.
All right, on we go.
And Wade called it out as well, which was good. Good that they called it out rather than just ignore it. Mm-hmm. But Cody says... You don't even control your own group.
Yeah.
The Bronze attacked me on Friday on SmackDown.
I think that was your idea. I think that was Mr. Heyman's.
Heyman announced Brock Lesnar at WrestlePalooza.
I don't think that was your idea. I think that was Mr. Heyman's.
And then Seth says, no, everything runs through me.
Yeah, every decision runs through me. And then when Cody brings up the Brock thing, he's like, every decision runs through me. And the second time he says it, it was so unconvincing that every decision runs through him. And it's probably because it's what Heyman keeps telling him.
Yeah. Like he thinks he's the master manipulator, the architect, but actually Heyman's playing a better game.
Yeah.
And it weirdly makes Seth as this character kind of sympathetic in a way. I think that's why it's such an engaging direction to take it. Because then Cody puts over Mania 40 saying, Seth, you're my friend from that. And Seth said, and I could feel him just saying this to win the argument.
Yep.
Not because he actually believes it.
Absolutely.
Says, we were never friends. You were just a means to an end, a lesser of two evils with Roman and Cody.
I just had to get the belt off Roman.
Yeah. And now I'm going to cleanse the timeline at Crown Jewel. Like he can change the past.
Like he is ignoring that he was tagging with Cody the night before. Yeah. Because in his mind, it's like, well, that doesn't make any sense anymore. It is some politicians do now, which is just like, it's alternative facts. That is what he is doing at the moment. He's just running his own version of events, but saying, no, this is what happened though.
Which politicians?
I mean, I wouldn't say, I don't want to bring politics into this podcast. People use wrestling as a form of escapism. But so I loved this so much. And then when he's backstage, it's being like, I have to beat him.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, you're going to. He's like, no, I have to beat him.
Yeah, that's before the main event. He's there with the Bronze and Heyman. And that's what Seth's saying. Heyman's face looks worried.
Bronze there being like, oh man, maybe this is not actually the guy we should be following. Yeah. Maybe I should just be listening to Paul over here.
I am really, really surprised how in 2 weeks, and it didn't take much. We always said just drop the annoying stuff. Seth is amazing. Yeah. It's this character that's keeping me at arm's length for years. It just totally turned around. And to have it for a match that again is, oh, who cares? Champion versus champion. That time of year again, I guess. They have made it about character.
What I really love about it as well is that Seth has this line. I can't remember if it was in the video package or if it was in this promo. He might have even said it in both, actually. He, again, with his alternative facts, his rewritten history, is that Cody left and Seth became the guy that led WWE into its golden period, to its golden era, which isn't true. Cody leaves and WWE just goes on this steady decline, ironically, until Cody comes back. But in Seth's mind, it's like, no, I led it to this golden era, and then you came back to try and ride the coattails of my success. And there's part of me that is in two minds as to whether or not this is just great Seth mind work, or, this is just Seth character work. He believes that, but it's not the truth. But there is a part where it's like, I think WWE probably also believe that is what happens.
Yeah. And just an excellent performance from Seth. Great great storyline.
Yeah, really, really good.
EO, more blue stuff backstage. AJ Styles and Dragon Lee get a promo in the ring where... AJ Lee in combined name form. Dragon Lee says he's going for Dom's AAA mega title this Friday. Crowd were like, boo. We like Dom now.
Yeah, this was a weird promo because they're in a feud with the Americanos. Like, they demanded last week. They're like, we want a match with Americanos. But their promo here was, we're actually got other matches that we need to, we're more in, I've got to go for this title. And AJ was like, yeah, and at Perth, I'm facing John. So, I suppose we've got to do this match as well.
And it's thanks to all of you. You know the report is this has been planned for months.
Well, of course it has.
But it's because Cena put out the tweet. Hey, what do you guys think?
Yeah, what do you guys think?
Let's come on. If there's enough retweets, we might do it.
Well, I was going to say, John Cena gave people one option of like, would you like to see who would you like to see me face next? AJ? And it was like, yeah, AJ would be great.
And AJ, he said the thing. He said, I get to do what I love, wrestle and beat up John Cena, which popped me.
Yeah.
I love that catchphrase.
You know, there's only so much you can do without Cena on TV. Like next week, you can show a video package highlighting the matches that they've had, and that's kind of all you need to do.
Yeah. I really have no idea what their long-term plan is for AJ. Is he going for the IC title? No, he's not. Now he's in this.
He did.
Now
he's
back for
twice.
The IC title. Now he's going to do a work shoot promo thing about Doc Gallows and Carl Anderson. And now he's like, oh, cheers, guys. I'm facing John Cena. Absolute mess this is. And it could be his retirement run.
I didn't hear this either, but apparently Wade Barrett said that Dragon Lee is taking WWE by storm.
What is it with these Mexicans? They said Stephanie Vaquer as well. I've never heard taking by storm.
Yeah.
Even by Jade Cargill.
Well, Stephanie's not even Mexican. She's Chilean.
Oh, yeah, she's Chilean, yeah. So South American then. So then we go into the match. It's Los Americanos. El Grande Americanos buddies now have names. They're Rio and Bravo.
Yeah. Although I thought he said Rio.
Yeah, I thought Rio.
But Rio makes more sense.
Rio Bravo being the gag there. I thought the joke was that they were all El Grande Americano, not separate people.
That would be a funny thing, yeah.
So I thought it was like you could have El Grande Americano and maybe El Medo Americano or El Grande Americano Dos or El Grande Americano Jr. and El Hijo
Del Grande Americano. Yeah.
The son of El Grande Americano.
That would have been much better.
My big pitch in the news was that really it should be El Grande Americano Dos, Tres, and then if they had another person, 4.
Because they don't know what.
They don't know what it is in Spanish past 3.
Like it's, you know.
They don't care about this though, because it was just Styles squashing both of them.
And I guess that we're going to continue this because they've just signed a deal for El Grande Americano to be like a brand for something. Like there's going to be like a tie-in deal with a place. So I guess we just have to keep this going.
A big food and drink company.
Yeah. It was a really weird... Wade Barrett on commentary, because there's now 3 of them, said like, this should really put to rest the rumors that one of them is Chad Gable. I was like, oh yeah! This all did start with Chad Gable, didn't it?
This is really... become a bad joke.
Not like it's just become a bad joke, has it?
Like some people
just become. You heard it first, everyone. Ollie Davis thought it's been hilarious up until this point.
Some people found it an offensive joke, which you could say a bad joke at the start. Now this is just a crap joke.
Yeah. That's why they lost because they had 2 other matches to promote instead.
CM Punk is coming back next week, maybe with AJ Lee. This is when Lyra versus Roxanne was announced, and I've written in capitals. Oh my God. I can't wait for the Raquel match the week after. Video package on the Crown Jewel Championships. Stephanie Vaquer interview backstage. Tiffany Stratton walks in. Says script.
Stephanie Vaquer says script back. This is not Cody versus Seth.
No, it never is with the women, is it? Year after year. And then we got the Tornado Tag main event with Roman's return.
I'm surprised Stephanie didn't trip over her own feet as she walked into this, by the way, and then just somehow blamed on Jade Cargill. Yeah. Well, she was in AEW, so she sucked, I guess.
Well, she's fresh off her AEW run. But yeah, that was Raw. Overall, I know we dug it out a bit there, but it was funny. It was good. Like, this was a good show in general.
I enjoyed this episode of Raw. Correction as well, because a few people will point this out. Mexico is part of North America.
Say that again? Mexico's North America, of course. Sorry. Just anything south of the USA, I should say.
I'm very bad at geography. I was thinking about this the other day. I think I could probably name you 12 countries and I would start to tap out a little bit. Mm-hmm. And I would struggle to go any further, particularly if they're in Europe. I'd really, really struggle there.
Let's do our final chat, Gables. Roach Senpai writes, I understand kayfabe and all that, but do you guys think the crowd would pop hard should Becky get her comeuppance from the opposite sex since she's already attacked 2 males? I understand sponsors and all that, but it kind of goes both ways, you know?
Hey, dude, I pitched for us to go to sleep at WrestlePalooza.
It's a classic wrestling comeuppance thing, as long as it's done in an appropriate enough way, because it can be done in a bad exploitative way.
Yeah.
But I feel like they definitely earned the idea of Punk hitting the GTS on Becky.
This is not Steve Austin attacking Lita with a chair.
No.
This would just be a baddie getting their comeuppance.
Mike Santani, a member for 2 months, writes, Hey guys, thanks for helping me get through work every day. I hope you guys have a good rest of the week.
Thank you very much.
You too, Mike.
You too.
And finally for now, Eduardo Luna writes, Can you all explain adversatity to my wife? I can't seem to properly explain it. Also, Ollie, when are you going to start that business-centered YouTube channel? Love y'all and Viva AEW. Well, I think it was a productivity channel. One day, ironically, when I've found a productivity system lets me get everything done. Adversity, there was a criticism by some writers in WWE that Cody Rhodes had not gone through enough adversity through WrestleMania, leading up to WrestleMania 39, which is why he did not beat Roman. He needed to go through more challenges, despite him so clearly going through a decade of challenges. And during this time, he also horribly bruised his pec. So I turned adversity into adversity because he had a bruised boob. Mm. And that is, in a way, adversity.
Yes. You managed to combine those two together, and it was a really good joke.
Thanks, man.
I've ended the poll. 51% thumbs up.
Yeah, I thought it was a good show.
40% in the middle. So actually pretty close.
Overall, an above average show that trends to. Please do go over to patreon.com/WrestleTalk, where we have our TNA Aces and Eights series underway right now. And also, right now, through this very wall right here, are Laurie, Sullivan, Dom, Blair. They are doing the 200th ever episode of Board Game Club live.
What?
Where they're going to try and play as many games as possible in under 200 minutes. And it's all to raise money for charity. Special Effect, who are a great charity who make video games more accessible for people with additional needs. So go over there. Just type in No Rolls Barred into YouTube, you'll be taken there. Maybe the link is in the video description.
Absolutely, our moderators will be doing that right now.
But for now, I've been Ollie Davis. This has been Luca and DAD. We'll see you again on the Friday WrestleTalk podcast. Jam that jam.
Jam that jam.